Those 30 people that I mentioned earlier were when I was a poll observer on the 16th of October at the elections office in Pima County.
And you were unable to see what they were doing?
It was a room as big as almost maybe half the size of this banquet room, and I was an observer watching 30...
As far away as we are?
I could walk behind them. But I couldn't walk behind 35 people at the same time.
And what were they doing?
They were taking them out of the envelope. They had been brought in from the recorder's office where the ballot had been opened. The envelope had been opened, and according to what I was told, the signature had already been checked in another room.
But you didn't see the signature check?
No, I didn't get to see that. They would take these out, and they would take...
Did you ask to see it?
Yes, and I was not allowed...
And were you refused?
Yes. So they said, and I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody, but as I said before, I could talk to the supervisor. These people who sat at each of these tables, who were representative of mostly one party, with the Democrat Party, and they would take them out of the envelope and then put them in a pile, and then separate the inside envelope. In Arizona, we have an outside envelope, then the inside envelope, and then the ballot, right?
Right.
So the ballot was then collected from the bin. So each table would get a bin, and they would separate them, put the ballots in a pile, put the envelopes in a rubber band, put them to the side, and then mark that they had such and such amount of regular ballots and such and such amount of duplicates, problematic ballots, that then had to be taken to a table, and they would separate those, take the duplicates, mark them, put them at a table, which were then taken to the original room where I had been ushered out of. Not that I was not to help them.
In a room that you were excluded from, they examined the signatures?
Yes. No, they started examining the signatures, then were moved to this room. And then from this room, they were then piled to then be tabulated later.
Did they do a further examination of the signatures?
No, not in this room. The only room that was done in this...
You observed no examination of signatures, and they refused to let you do that.
Right. I was only allowed to watch these people put these in piles. So when I was ushered back out...
So how many ballots do you think, just a rough estimate, how many ballots? 1,000, 100, 2,000?
I would say each box had between 200 and 250 ballots. And I was there for 5 hours. And during that time that I was there, each table went through 6 to 7 to 8, depending on how fast they were and how many mistakes they made, because many times the ballots weren't straight and they had to recount them, or I would hear them say...
So how do we do that arithmetic?
All right, well, let's see, 250 times 8. Somebody who's not nervous maybe can say...
2,000.
That's per table. And there were about 16 to 17 tables of 2 people doing this at the same time.